Hey everyone, welcome to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird.
I'm Brittany Lee.
Fuego here.
I'm much bigger.
Back with another review for you guys. This one is for Jeepers Creepers 2. We did a review for Jeepers Creepers 1. We are, as we record this, about to go see Jeepers Creepers 3. So we wanted to go ahead and complete the review circle, triangle. So here we are talking about the second movie in the Jeepers Creepers, and now trilogy. And
and
this
maybe
one,
a fourth film.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll do this one a little bit more in accordance with the formula that like we usually do. So we'll talk about our overall thoughts and then the story, the acting, the effects, all that good stuff. My overall thoughts about this one is I didn't like what they did away with lore-wise from the first one, but I did like the body count going up in typical horror movie fashion, and there were a lot of cool scares I remember when I first saw it, and then I rewatched it last night, and while some of them didn't hold up as well, they were all still interesting. A lot of carrying people away into the sky.
Flying.
But yeah, the flying effects were a little bit rough, a little bit green screen obvious, but it was still a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it overall. The Creeper was given more leeway to have some fun, sort of like Freddy, sort of got to get a little more fun instead of a little less a little all scary, you know. But overall, I enjoyed the movie. Britt, what did you think of it?
I thought the Creeper lived up to his name for sure in this movie because he was extra fucking creepy, and I can see how these movies are directed by the type of person they're directed by.
She went for it.
Yeah, he was sniffing a bunch of kids in this one, a bunch of high school kids.
Licking the back emergency window and crap. That's creepy. But like, I mean, overall, I didn't really like any of the characters in this movie. I didn't care about anyone. Whenever they died, I'm like, oh, good, another obnoxious high school student I don't have to listen to anymore.
Yeah.
I didn't like that he was flying all the time in this one. Like, it was just an overused effect. Like, in the first one, it was like, oh my god, he can fly. Wow, that was creepy.
He can fly, he can fly, he can fly.
And even at the beginning of this one, when they used the effect to get rid of the little kid, it was creepy. But then they just like, oh, let's keep using it because it's so creepy. And I was like, okay, you killed it.
Yeah.
And then they killed the fact that it was so important, him getting the eyes from the guy in the first one with him eating an entire bus full of people in this one. So it really frustrated me the way they changed it.
Well, and they
so
never
much.
even... Oh, sorry. I was going to say they never even fully say that he eats them. He just takes them. And I was thinking, since this one takes place 3 days after the original, and on the last day of his hunt, so to speak.
Yeah, because he has like a binge
he has
of hunting
23 days every 23rd spring in order to hunt and eat. And so I was taking it as he was just gathering them all to sort of feast on through his sort of hibernation. But that's never confirmed or denied.
But the whole thing that the black lady talks about in the first one is, ooh, when he finds a scent that he likes, he comes after you until he's his, you know? Like, yeah, it's like, it's just, it doesn't follow the lore that they created, that they're trying to build on, and it was frustrating.
Fuego, what did you think of it?
Well, I'm going to jump back to the It comparison that I made in the first review, and the fact that 23, 27, you know, it is what it is, but just the rate of consumption that you need to go and hibernate for that extensive period of time, I can kind of see why you'd go after a bus full of kids, and all of them were unmemorable. That's why I don't remember any of them, but I remember a lot of the kills and scares, and the fact that it was all about higher body count. I mean, it felt very sequelized to me, and that's why I was more entertained with the second film after the first one was like built up so much to me, and I was just like, this is okay. Second one felt more like just a bloody crazy horror film, like 80s 90s status, where they were trying to like one up themselves. And so I can't say I loved that one either, but I had more fun with Jeepers Creepers 2 than I did the first one. What about you, Marcia?
I like the fact that you get to experience the Creeper more. And the scene where the father and son, they're hunting the creature. I like that, how there's actually a hunter that's been hunting him, and it's been a generational thing. And now
they're
he's
going full
passing
on for that in this new movie.
Yeah, and and he's passing it down to his son. That whole thing, and the whole barn scene that they had with the creeper. I just thought it was really cool that we got to see more, and how fantastic the creature is. I think I don't know. I just love the creeper. I think he's perfect balance of creature and humanoid, or whatever he's supposed to be. Wasn't he supposed to be like a fallen angel or something? I can't remember.
No. Well, they didn't say that specifically. No, they called him a bat out of hell on the, that's what they called the exhibit or whatever. But no, they didn't say. They just said he was a 1,000-year-old creature that's been feeding for that long.
He's got to be something along either like a hell creature or maybe a fallen angel type thing. He's got to be, because with the humanoid aspect with the wings and
maybe probably demonic more than anything, but yeah.
Well, fallen angel can be demonic.
That's true.
Satan.
I felt the metal.
So let's talk about the we hit on the story. It's the kids in the bus, and it's just them being picked off one at a time. So the story ain't
pretty base in that aspect.
That's basically what it is.
Yeah, they're just hanging at the bus
with the extra
with the few the dad and son hunting because they lost their brother and son. Let's talk about the acting in this, and it's a little bit rough. It's a lot of high school, older than high school slightly, but a lot of kids being high schoolers, and like there's the nerdy kind of guy with glasses that's whiny all the time. There's
a lot of tropes, man.
The white guy that's actually like a reverse racist, or just a racist because he didn't get to play enough time in the championship game because the coach is black and he feels like he wasn't black, so he didn't get to play as much. And it's like such a silly thing. They tried to lean on that race thing, and it felt kind of out of place. They could have just focused on more stuff. They were just trying to build conflict. In any movie like this, you want to build conflict into your human element because it adds to the tension. But this was just too much and not impactful enough for how much was being forced.
So like conflict amongst the people as opposed to,
that's why in The Mist, outside of the creature aspect, the conflict amongst the humans is what the crux of the story is.
True.
Inner conflict between the survivors are...
I guess it depends on the
what
story.
What can give creatures access to the people and stuff.
They're all
that's
stuck
the
in the bus.
The unknown element in those things are the humans around you. You know what I mean? So it kind of leans on that a little bit, but yeah, there's too much people getting carried off into the sky, and that's not quite scary enough. I think there's one decapitation, which is pretty funny because the kid drops down and is like still swinging even though he doesn't have a head and things like that. But it's really cool because that's like the gore I think is awesome in this one compared to the first one, especially with the creeper. Because at one point, the chick jabs a javelin through his eye, and you see him not only slide the pole back and forth, but then he literally just pulls a quarter of his head away from his body and tosses it, and he looks at them, and there's just a hole right here. Yeah. And that's when he pulls the kid's head, and you see the head, like, slide up inside his body, and then the alien-like facehugger thing pulls his old head off and throws it at the head of the bus, and then the other head pops up and like turns, and it's the new creeper head. Like it's so cool that you get to see that stuff in this one. I mean, let's Brittany, any thoughts on the acting or the effects?
Like you guys said, the high school students are subpar. The few names that we do know that we have seen before aren't there long enough to really say that they were good or bad. And then the effects, I mean, except for the flying.
Flying looks pretty rough,
fast. Any makeup effects they did on the creeper, they were always good. He looks like this slimy, disgusting thing, especially when he regenerates. It's just a creepy creeper. I mean,
creeper.
Fuego, your thoughts?
I think it's the director just, envisioned like this is what he is.
He loves it. No, for me, all of the acting with all those kids was supremely forgettable, unfortunately. And I'm coming from the generation that had really good actors in these high school ensembles, whether it was The Faculty or whether it was I Know What You Did Last Summer or something like that. And so all these bland no names, they gave it their best, but they were overwrought, and they just kind of overdid it a lot of the time. The reason that I remember this movie, and I even told you before we sat down to review, because I didn't rewatch this, I remember the gore quotient and the fact that I felt like they had more money to play with from a budgetary standpoint, and that's why the kills were rougher and harder and the effects were better, you know, and so that's why I like the sequelized incarnation of this franchise a lot better. So yeah.
Marcia?
Yeah, I wasn't in it for the acting. No, and it was okay for that. The acting wasn't really that great for me because I thought it was kind of a B storyline anyway.
It was decent in the first one though, and you know it was horrible.
Well, I mean, to me, I was like, well, it's not Justin Long and the sister, and so this storyline is a B storyline. It's nothing. I don't think it was meant to like move anybody. I think everybody just were cannon fodder, like just waiting to die, and and it was mostly just showing off the creature and what he can do, and that he can regenerate quickly, and it's hard to kill a trucker, you know, and no one is safe when he's feeding. So I dug that part about it. I thought that the father-son dynamic was way more interesting than anything that was going on with the bus.
Oh, yeah.
But it was also during a time where I was like, I'm okay with watching a bunch of no-name people get torn to shreds because that's fun, like Final Destination style, you know? So
first one had big names, though.
What?
First Final Destination.
Yeah, so did this movie.
Yeah. True.
But, you know, but yeah, no, the acting wasn't that great. I like the effects at the time. Because it was I thought it was effective at the time. I can see where they would be dated now. But I still like the movie overall. I thought it was a good sequel or follow up. I would have been more interested if it was a follow up to what happened with Justin Long and his sister, of course. But I thought we got like a different side of the story. So going into the third one, I think is going to be interesting to see how they connect it.
The problem to me is if the third one is supposed to take place between 1 and 2, then where's the defeat going to come with the creeper?
Well, they still apparently, from what I was reading, have a fourth one in mind too.
Yeah. What?
There's a fourth film. That
I know, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So clearly, there's not going to be an overall defeat of the creeper at the end because he's got to get away to terrorize the kids on the school bus.
No, good point. So that actually lowers
I
the
didn't know it was
stakes
supposed
as
to
far
be
as
in the
whatever
middle.
the hell that they
That's what
do
I'm
to
saying,
him.
yeah.
That is kind of stoops.
That sucks.
Maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Spoilers!
But I mean, if that's the case,
I didn't know anything about it, but now I know things.
Good job. Thanks. Thanks for ruining it for all of us.
Well, maybe I'm wrong. No
don't know,
one's seen it yet.
Yeah,
I thought when you
Cecil's
said
right. We're not going to lie to you. That's a true bit of information. So, sorry. Anyway.
Okay. So when you guys said that, they're bringing the sister back, I was thinking that because it's been so long since the first one came out that they would play it, even though it hasn't been technically 23 years. That they would play it like the creeper's back, she's coming back for revenge.
Listen, unless she's got a kick-ass skin person,
Makeup
they might
artist.
have to fucking set it later anyway. So maybe you're right. Again, I'm not 100. I believe it might be misinformation because who's seen it yet?
Yeah, nobody. I'm actually curious though because it makes me think
If
that
nobody's seen it yet, then how could they know that for sure? It might be just misinformation.
I actually have a prediction: employment of flashback, which is so so commonplace in horror now.
Maybe we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see how it goes.
We're actually excited to see.
I don't know. I think it would make more sense that it was in the future and she's hunting back and maybe teams up with the. I forget. Did the dad and son survive the last one? I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Second one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. But it cut to 23 years later in the second one. At the end of the second one, and realizes all old, and that's when he's up on the barn.
The barn.
And the son's grown up. And,
So
they could pick it up there. Technically, if they wanted to.
I think it would make
It'd be great
sense.
if they surprised us and brought Ray Wise back, because frankly, he could probably play that part again now and not have to age him up as much.
Truly.
But yeah.
Anyway,
so
it would make more sense if they did it that way.
So yeah, I agree. So who knows?
I don't know. I want to watch it now.
Yeah, I know.
We'll
After
tell you
all
when
this
we get
discussion,
Exactly.
I'm intrigued about the third film now.
So let us know in the comments down below what you guys thought of Jeepers Creepers 2. But thanks very much for watching. Until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
I'm Brittany Lee.
Gracias up and Fuego.
I'm Marshmallow.
And remember, stay scared.
Like, share, subscribe.